It's in the door.
It's in the
It's in the room.
All right. The Panama City Beach City Council will please come to order. It is October the 24th, and it is 2 p.m. And we will begin by rising and asking Pastor Raymond Duval of the Beachside Fellowship Church to lead us in an invocation. And then we will pledge allegiance to our flag.
Okay. Let's pray together. Father, when we look out and we see the wonderful place that we get to live, we thank you for the privilege of living and working in Panama City Beach, for the creation and all that you have done for us. Today we come to pray, Lord, for these men and these women who serve in offices in our city, for the staff that support them, and Father, for every citizen who lives and works here. I ask your blessing today and your guidance upon everyone that's here, that our words would be encouraging and beneficial to all. And thank you, Lord God, for the success of our community. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda for the City Council meeting? Hearing none, we will accept the agenda. We need to approve the minutes of October 10th.
Motion to approve, October 10th.
Motion to approve from Councilman Russell.
Second.
Second from Councilman Rickard. Madam Clerk.
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Rickard?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes. At this time, we will move to the consent agenda.
3 items on the consent agenda this afternoon. Item number 1, Resolution 1403, Annual Christmas Parade, a resolution requesting temporary closing of portions of Front Beach Road on December 14, 2013 to permit the annual Christmas Parade. Item number 2, Veterans Day Proclamation, a proclamation honoring November 11, 2013 as Veterans Day in Panama City Beach, Florida. Item number 3, Resolution 1412, Ironman Florida Iron Kids Fun Run Road Closure. Resolution of the City of Panama City Beach related to the Ironman Florida Iron Kids Fun Run event authorizing road closures on portions of South Thomas Drive on November 1st, 2013 for the event.
Are there any comments from the audience on the consent agenda?
Sure.
Hearing none, the consent agenda is available for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilwoman Strange.
Second.
Second from Councilman Curry. Madam Clerk.
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Rickard?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes. And at this time, we have a special presentation from Iron Man. Ben, you want to come forward? We will give you the microphone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for letting me have a few minutes of your time today. First and foremost, I just wanted to thank the community for supporting Ironman in its 15th year. It's exciting every year. I encourage anybody, residents alike, please come out and see the event and see what it really brings to our community, as well as the lives of a lot of folks. I just wanted to hit on a few things. We sold this event out in 45 seconds after we went on sale on site, and we bring in about 1,000 out-of-town volunteers just to volunteer. So November 4th of last year, 2 minutes into our sale, we sold out. They promised to come back and participate in our community and feed our community. So it is a very good event. I really can't tell you enough of the appreciation of the support we get from the council and the city and the community. And I assure you, as a resident here, I'll do everything I can to leave it in better shape than when we found it. And what I'm here for today is to do a couple check presentations. We support each other in a lot of ways, and one of them being the St. Andrews State Park. We go through that park and we make a donation to the Friends of St. Andrews, a nonprofit, to upkeep of that. We also support the Panama City Police Department in way of the Kids and Cops Foundation. and also the PCMI school in town. So if I could get someone from those three parties that could like to present these checks. Well, for right now, I'll accept on behalf of St. Andrews, Friends of St. Andrews. Like I said, we use their park as part of the run course. It's one of the highlights of our course. Out of 26 miles, they have about 5 miles in the park. A lot of wildlife goes through there. It requires a lot of maintenance to do that, so we try and support the friends out there as much as we can, and I think it works. They've made some good improvements, and I think they like us and will continue as long as they'll have us. So on behalf of the Ironman Florida, we're making a $3,000 donation to the Friends of St. Andrews. The other one, of course, is either way, the police department. Without this, without their help, we can't put this race on. They do everything they can to minimize the impact negatively on the traffic out there, and we do our best to get everybody through safely. They're experts at it. I don't ask them or tell them how to do it. They do it, and they keep everything in mind to putting someone out just out of their way a few minutes and getting an athlete through safely. So we do. I gave you a couple of brochures. One is a traffic impact statement. We put about 3,000 out in the community to the most affected people on the courses. It tells you when and where most of the traffic is going to be at and the biggest delays you'll encounter. We've been doing it for years. I just kind of wanted to bring it to highlight that we don't just come in and the chief just says, let's do it here, and we think about it long and hard about how we run this course. And we think we found the best course possible for our community and keeping it here. So on behalf of Ironman Florida, we'd like to make a $3,000 donation to the Kids and Cops on your behalf.
Thank you.
Thank you. And in no particular order, like I said, PCMI, the AM Kids, it's a great organization downtown who runs a school for kids that may have got off course a little bit, and it's fitting that they're on boats and they're on the water a lot. But without PCMI, we can't put on a swim course. Right now, they're out there setting the course. Without them as well, they do some media boats for us. They set courses. They've been doing for every year in Ironman Florida for its 15th year. Again, without them, we can't do this event. Their children, their kids, their students really benefit from what they're putting on, and hopefully we're helping them get back on course. Again, if you don't mind, we have a $3,000 donation for the Panama City Marine Institute, but a few years ago, Norm and the group wanted to know if it was possible to get a slot to our race. And it's a very hard thing to do. We don't usually give out charity slots, but we worked it out so we would just take the cost of the race off the amount of the check. And at first it was a little slow. The first year we really almost begged to sell the ticket, only because no one knew about it. So we sold it at its face value. They got their $3,000 donation. Last year, they got some good marketing on it. We had a lot of competition on the call-in on their annual event. A 20-year-old from Florida State won the ticket. She came out here to race. She paid $1,650 to race the race, and it all went to the PCMI folks. She qualified for Kona. She just raced 2 weeks ago, which is really something. So she really went out and outdid herself, represented them and us and everybody really well. The third year, went out on auction. It sold for $2,000, I think. And it sold to the mayor of Dothan. And he's unfortunately in China, so he won't be coming, but he doesn't mind at all with the donation and really helping out the school. So I won't talk any longer because you guys will definitely get tired of me talking.
The check, man, the check.
On behalf of Ironman, and please accept this as a donation from us in the amount of $23.75, and plus their ticket to the Ironman Florida.
I have to take 1 minute. That race is sold out in 45 seconds. We take that entry that they donate to us and put it on our auction. It's the only race entry available in the whole world after they're sold out. And we advertise it as such. And we're trying to get as much money as possible out of it for PCMI. But all of y'all have to understand that we have handled over 4,000 kids during our existence, and close to 80% of them never have any contact with the law again. So this is part of it, and with Ben and the Gulf Coast Triathlon, thank the community and thank everybody. That's what we do. We try and get kids straight again. Thank you. Thanks again, Ben.
Can I have 1 second, Madam Mayor? Just real quick, I know the council knows where the money goes, but just for the citizens of Panama City Beach, this money goes to help us with our Cops and Kids program. We just had one past Saturday. A lot of kids showed up, but it also feeds our kids during Christmas time and at Thanksgiving. Last year we fed 116 kids and bought gifts for them at Christmas time. We try to give them a bicycle and some gifts at Christmas so they also have presents under the tree. With the economy, it seems like it grows and grows every year, so money like this definitely helps. So thank you.
Thank you. And the council would like to say a special thank you to Ben. He works very, very hard, and he was being sincere when he says he tries to do the best he can and to leave it a better place, leave the beach and Bay County a better place. I know he's up here early on meeting with the city manager and with me and the police chief, and he really works hard on coordinating efforts and making it work and work the way that it does. So thank you. We appreciate it. At this time, we need to talk about our November and December council meetings. In talking with the city manager and the city attorneys, the November meetings are scheduled for the 14th and the 28th. The December meetings are scheduled for the 12th and the 26th. The 28th is Thanksgiving Day, and the 26th is the day after Christmas. And so, with the blessings of the attorneys, I'd like for us to go ahead and hold November the 21st and December the 19th as dates that if the city manager and staff feel that we need to have a meeting to take care of any business that comes up, that we will be in touch, Mario and I will, and we will call a special meeting on those 2 days. The city manager will determine, along with the staff, if there is an issue that has to be handled and needs to be handled. We will need a 3-day notice. So if anything comes up, we will back up onto the Monday before the 21st and the Monday before the 19th. And the media will be notified, as well as the city council and staff. And unless there's any objections, that will be our game plan.
We need a motion.
I don't think we do.
The mayor has the authority to call special meetings. I concur. You can discuss or consent if you like, but it doesn't matter.
If nobody objects, that will just be our plan. The next item.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I may add on that note, we have an item that there's a wish to add. Mel, where are you?
He's hiding.
If we could schedule a date for a special meeting for a planning board issue, is that something that we can do at this point in time?
Oh,
Since we're discussing dates.
yes, there it is. We do need, there is an appeal from the planning board. The La Bagada rezoning was not voted on by the planning board, and so it's being appealed to the city council. And
I wasn't voted on.
There was no motion made until it failed.
Whoops, I didn't. I can't hear you.
there
The
was
request that was before the planning board failed because there was no motion made to support or deny it.
like 3 motions made, but there was no seconds. So it just failed. I guess they voted on it by not voting.
They acted by not voting.
Yeah, they acted by not voting. So it is being appealed to the city council. I mean, after all, that's what we get paid the big bucks for. So we should face the wrath of the neighbors. What time, do you want Ms. Smith to poll and see when is a good time, or is there a sense of urgency, Mel, or
Calendar up here.
or have you come up with a date?
We had looked at the Tuesday or Thursday, I'm sorry, the Tuesday or Wednesday before these two special meetings would be good days at 9 o'clock in the morning. 'Cause it'll,
19th or 20th? 19th and 20th.
The 19th and the 20th.
Yeah, I'm fine with mine.
Okay, so we're talking about the 19th of November at 9 o'clock in the morning? 9 a.m. Does that take care of that?
Joe, you'll send out a reminder, right? Good timing.
The third item on the agenda is there are 3 TDC board member appointments. The TDC is made up of 9 people. 4 of them are appointed by the city council. One of those is a non-collector of bed tax. One is a collector of bed tax. 2 people are from the city council. And traditionally, the mayor has been one of those 2. But the other one must be a sitting council member. And our appointments are Mike Bennett as a collector, and his term is not up. Our other appointment is Gary Walsingham, and he is a non-collector. So at this time, I think all we need to do is just ask Joe to let the public know that if you are in business on the beach and you are a non-collector of bed tax and you're interested in serving on the TDC, that to get information, and we will appoint them. Probably we need to do it the first meeting in November, because we really have to recommend to Bay County Commission, and they actually make the appointments. So we need to do it, if we can, the first in November, and that will give them time to get it to the county commission meetings, and the term will begin January 1. All of them. Post start. Right.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
So my business is a non-collector, and I'm on the council. Is that going to be an issue to have 3 council people on the TDC?
I don't know.
Should I happen? Hell, it's over, but.
I don't know that it would be an issue. You just wear one hat or the other. You would apply in what capacity. Or apply for the council seat, apply for the non-collector as a business owner.
Right, but 2 council people are already on it.
you would just have to serve
One or
under-
the other.
as either council member or
Okay.
as a resident.
All right, got it.
What would the process, Your Honor, be in that November meeting? If you've got 3 people, 3 positions to consider, do them one at a time, or?
Yeah.
So we'll advertise for, see who wants.
The non-collector.
The non-collector.
Now, does that non-collector person have to be in business, or can it be a resident who's
It has to be in business.
Okay, all right, thank you.
After all, these people are representing the tourist industry.
Right.
So there needs to be a connection to the tourist industry. All right. I think that's about all our housekeeping. Item number 4 is supervisor of elections and polling place agreements. I guess that is still
Still
housekeeping.
housekeeping.
Is Ms. White going to handle that, or are you?
I can read the resolution and
Okay.
speak as well. Resolution 1406, a resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, approving various polling place agreements with the supervisor of elections relating to the 2014 general and primary elections. There are 3 agreements that are before you today. One is for use of the senior center for the general and primary elections. One is used for the Frank Brown Park building for the general and primary elections. And then one is used the senior center for the early voting for both elections. As an early voting site.
So we're going to have early voting.
This is for the general primary. This is not for Super Tuesday. This is just for general primary elections.
Okay, so
countywide.
which will not include us.
Right.
Is this the time to talk about that early voting for the?
We've got that later
got
on
that
the
later?
issue.
Right, okay.
Okay, this is strictly for the county and
County, state,
state and
federal.
so forth. Any questions about the locations or? Did we read it?
Yes.
Well, resolution 1406 then is available for a motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve from Councilman Curry,
Second.
second from Councilman Russell. Anything else on this? Anyone in the audience want to comment? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Rickard?
Yes.
Mayor Oberst?
Yes. Item number 5 has an asterisk by it on your agenda, which indicates the city council will be acting as the CRA board and as the city council as well. This is resolution 1407, North Thomas Drive sidewalk.
Yes, ma'am. Be it resolved that the appropriate officers of the city are authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the city that certain agreement between the city and Floridian Construction and Development Company, Inc., relating to construction of a new sidewalk on the north side of North Thomas Drive from Joan Avenue to the South Thomas Drive intersection in the basic amount of $45,158.98, together with a contingency amount of $5,000, and substantially the form attached and presented to the council today, with such changes, insertions, or omissions as may be approved by the city manager.
So we're just going to build a short, how long, sidewalk on the north side of Thomas Drive to match the one we put on the south side? John, do you need to tell us anything, or?
I'd be happy to briefly go over the project. Good afternoon, Council Member, Madam Mayor. The funds are included in the 2014 budget to construct the sidewalk on the north side of North Thomas Drive, pretty much the same length as the one that we did earlier this year. The request for bid was advertised on September 25th and October 1st, and the bid will open on October 15th. Floridian Construction and Development Company submitted the lowest bid and meets all the contract document requirements. We're recommending to award the contract to the company and also the $5,000 contingency. We're hoping to do this project before Christmas, actually. This is a short project, so it takes normally about 3 to 4 weeks to finish. It would be great addition to the area. Last year we enjoyed seeing everybody pretty much walk on the sidewalk that we put on the south side. We're hoping this one help as well this year.
I like sidewalks.
Even though we don't have
sidewalks too.
Well, they look better than the cavalry.
Anyone have questions? Then resolution 1407 is available for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Russell,
Second.
second from Councilwoman Strange. Any other comments, thoughts? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Rickard?
Yes.
Mayor Oberst?
Yes. Item number 6 is resolution 1408, additional funds for Boys and Girls Club and Senior Center and changing the budget. This is amendment number 1 to the budget, and it's a public hearing.
A resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, authorizing a budget amendment to provide additional funding for Boys and Girls Club and the Senior Center, and providing it immediately effective. This implements the changes y'all consented to at your last meeting.
And we'd already completed the budget workshops and adopted a budget, so we have to do this to be able to change. Any comments? Resolution 1408 is available for a motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve from Councilman Curry,
Second.
second from Councilwoman Strange. Any other comments from the audience? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Overs?
Yes. We will close that public hearing and move to item number 7, Resolution 1409, the adoption of the updated Bay County Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan.
Resolution 1409, a resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, to adopt the updated Bay County Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan. This is also will provide an immediately effective date. And Chief Daly can probably speak more about this than I can. He's worked with Mark Owen's office, who prepared this document. It's being presented to all the cities, and it is what it says, a comprehensive emergency management plan. It's several hundred pages long. It was on the website for review.
Does anybody want have a comment that need any more explanation? Hearing none, Resolution 1409 is available for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Russell.
Second.
Second from Councilman Riekert. Any other comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Reeker?
Yes.
Mayor Overs?
Yes. Item number 9 is Resolution 1410. It's an interlocal agreement with Bay County for those emergency management services.
Yes. Be it resolved that the appropriate officers of the city are authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the city that certain interlocal agreement between the city and Board of County Commissioners of Bay County, Florida, relating to the city's provision of first responder, advanced life support, and emergency medical services under the county certificate of public necessity. And substantially the form attached and presented to the council today with such changes, insertions, or omissions as may be approved by the city manager. Several years ago, you entered a substantially similar agreement with Bay Medical Center. The county has now taken over that certificate, and that's why we're redoing this agreement again now with the county.
Okay, questions from Ms. Myers? Anything from the audience? Then Resolution 1410 is available for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Russell.
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Strange. Anything else? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Reeker?
Yes.
Mayor Overs?
Yes. Item number 9 is Resolution 1411, Aaron Besant Park Construction Closeout, and the Budget Amendment number 2. This is also a public hearing.
A resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, authorizing a budget amendment to recognize actual cash carry forward amounts, approving adjustments to reflect final payment to the contractor for Aaron Besant Park Amphitheater from funds received from TDC and recreation impact fees, and providing an immediately effective date.
Okay, questions? Anybody need explanation or have concerns? Hearing none, Resolution 1411 is available for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Riekert.
Second.
Second from Councilman Curry. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Reeker?
Yes.
Mayor Overs?
Yes. We will close the public hearing and move to item number 10 on our agenda, Ordinance 1254, LDC amendments, the glitch bill, first reading.
By way of introduction, Doug mentioned when he read Ordinance 1254 at the last meeting that we may be bringing it back in a more simpler form. We have in fact done that. We have revised the structure of this ordinance. It is in a simpler form. You are actually still approving the exact same document we presented to you at the last meeting, the red line version of the LDC. It incorporates the changes. The structures it a little bit differently. You're now approving a base LDC that incorporates the 30-plus ordinances you've already adopted, and then red lines just the glitches, those minor changes. The structure is different. It doesn't change the timing. It doesn't change the number of public hearings. It's just different. So that's why it's a first reading. It is a brand new ordinance. Ordinance 1254, an ordinance of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, amending and restating the land. Wait, I don't think I'm looking at the right one. I apologize. An ordinance of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, amending Ordinance 1233, known as the Land Development Code of the City of Panama City Beach, the LDC, approving, confirming, and ratifying the codification of certain ordinances previously adopted, which have amended the new LDC, amending, revising, and correcting the LDC to correct glitches and Scrivener's errors identified by staff since adoption of Ordinance 1233, authorizing codification, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing that this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon its passage.
Any questions? I like that it's a glitch.
Not a scrivener.
Yeah.
Not a mistake.
Yeah. Glitch bill.
Not his attorneys.
Any comments from the audience? Resolution, ordinance 1254 is available for a motion then.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Curry.
Second.
Second from Councilman Russell. Anything else? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Riekert?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes. Item number 11 on your agenda is ordinance 1277. It's the charter amendments. It's the first reading, and this is a public hearing.
An ordinance 1277, an ordinance of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, proposing to amend the charter of the city, providing for submittal of all changes to referenda, approval of the electors, providing for separate referenda votes on the following matters, authorizing the council to reschedule or cancel the second regular meeting in November and December of each year, clarification of beach easement abandonment, clarification of right-of-way abandonment, authorizing purchase of goods, equipment, but not services, for the city sewer and water systems up to $25,000 on competitive quotes, authorizing sole source purchase of replacement goods, equipment, but not services, based on competitive quotes for the city sewer and water systems only, providing for a single referendum vote upon an update and revision of Article 6 of the Charter relating to civil service, including but not limited to clarifying civil service membership and the procedures of the Civil Service Commission, clarifying the rights and procedures available to a civil service member regarding discipline, providing for a single referendum vote upon an update and revision of the wording of the entire charter, including but not limited to correcting gender references, authorizing and requiring posting of notices and ordinances on the city website, eliminating requirement to physically post a paper copy of an adopted ordinance, correcting typographical errors, reflecting new ward boundaries, and providing that the council not use its authority to update ward boundaries within the 6-month period preceding a council election, specifying the provision for electronic funds transfers of city funds, recognizing expansion of boundaries by annexations, clarifying the mayor's role in the execution of contracts, recognizing the city manager's existing authority to retain an assistant city manager, subject to council approval of salary, providing legislative intent with respect to overlapping language, providing an effective date, providing that the amendments proposed shall be effective only upon the approval of referendum as specified in the ordinance, and repealing ordinances in conflict. This ordinance has not changed in its structure or format since I sent it to you last month, early September. And even then, the changes I made were just based on minor comments we had received from the Civil Service Board meeting, and they were only to Article 6. The Civil Service Board did approve the amendments to Article 6 unanimously.
And what we need to do is to approve the ordinance, and then you will bring us back the questions, and we
Yes.
will approve the questions.
Right. Once you've approved the ordinance, you can sort of call for the ballot questions and call for the referendum to set that date. Now, I will say that the way this ordinance is structured, it does sort of divide the ballot questions up in the way that we have already proposed to you in the resolution, which is also part of your contract. If you want your agenda package, if you want to change the number of questions, we may need to also restructure this ordinance a little bit. But that's up to y'all.
Okay. Can we go ahead and let's do a motion and get this ordinance approved, and then we need to talk just a little bit about those questions. Ordinance 1277 is available for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Russell.
Second.
Second from Councilman Curry. Any comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Riekert?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes. And before we go on, we need some direction, right? It's my understanding that we can look at each one of the items as a question and ask the citizens to vote yes or no. Or we can say, these are the changes that we wish to make to the charter. Do you approve these changes, yes or no, kind of thing. So I don't know. There are some of them that are real important to us that they need to be changed. And I don't know. What are y'all feel? What are your feelings on? Do you think it should be lumped together, or should it be 6 individual questions? not gonna make any difference to supervisor election.
We have tried to, in structuring this, we've tried to call out the ones that were either more controversial, or at least have been traditionally controversial in the past, or that were just more intricate revisions we wanted the public to focus on. That was as much for your protection as theirs. So y'all could be as transparent as possible and not be accused of trying to sort of slide everything into one giant amendment. There are quite a few minor, very minor amendments that are in that sort of last questions to approve this whole remainder of the charter that does change the gender references. Those are not as substantive, but they still require voter approval.
I'd just like to make it where it's real plain as to what we're voting on, instead of does yes mean no, no mean yes. You know, a lot of those amendments and stuff like that, when you go to the ballot box, are kind of confusing. That's the only thing.
And in our previous meeting, we discussed maybe having a few lay persons who are not attorneys look at the language in this. And I just wondered if that had happened. Speaking for one of the lay persons, it did not happen. So,
Agreed. Once we approve this, and we approve the list, we'll take the legal language and put it at 8th grade level and put it out to the world so that everybody, and that's, when you get when you get guidelines on a phone, it's written at an 8th grade level. That's just a common way to do things so that everybody can understand it. So we'll do that with the resolutions. We'll simplify them so that everybody can understand. The double negatives are confusing to everyone, except for lawyers.
We've attempted to avoid that. But what I would like before we bring this resolution back to you for approval, I guess, is confirmation that you're okay with this breakout, or you would like to see some of them joined together, I guess, instead of.
so we're, question, Your Honor. So we're going to approve these questions, but the questions will be changed.
If you approve this breakout, we can then send them to lay persons and revise them to make them
Even
more
easier.
straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are limited by, it's 15 words for a title and 75 words per question.
Right.
So those are rules we can't break, but we can certainly
Right.
make them easier to understand if they're not.
But what we're not approving whether the current requirement of a referendum to move, swap, switch, divide, or abandon a beach easement south of alternative Highway 98 shall be amended and clarified to read as follows. That's not what we're approving.
No.
We're
No.
just proving the intent of that awful statement.
I want you to approve the the subject matter of the 7 questions that are set forth.
Thank you. I just want to be sure.
And if you want to add more questions or lose more questions.
And I understand that's necessary. I don't mean to make light of it. I understand. Thank
There's,
you.
Okay.
I personally have a problem with 7. 7 has a lot of information on a lot of different things in it. If we could break that out into 2 or 3 and lump some things together.
Do you have
7's got,
recommendations of what you would like to break out?
Gender neutral meetings and ordinances, a website, and say physical posting. Put 3 of those together.
Okay.
That's all has similar things with it. The city manager's authority to adopt city employee policies and appoint assistants. Electronic transfer of funds. Those are a couple of things that are a city manager's function. Typically, a city manager's function. You can lump those 2 together.
Okay.
Incorporate new board boundaries. And again, chime in here. I think that's separate and different. But that's, that's just my ideas. It just seemed that we lumped 8 or 9 different things into one.
And we did. And we have more room on the ballot than just these 7 questions. My best estimation, to keep it all in one sheet so the price doesn't go up for the cost of our election, is that we could probably go up to 10 to 12 questions. Max if it's-
But we do all agree, or are we agreeing that we want to have 10 questions instead of 1 question?
Yes.
I would.
Yes.
Okay. So we do want them broken in.
That helps. Well, we will prepare a new resolution then that breaks out that question 7 in separate more parts and bring that back for the second reading of this ordinance. And then if you are still not happy with it, you still don't have to adopt the resolution at that time, but we can discuss it again. And if you're ready to adopt it, great. If you're not, that's okay too. We can give the public more time to revise it and make it as straightforward as possible.
Well, and I agree with Councilman Ricker too. Just make it in plain language. you know.
We
so
did the
it-
best we
Oh,
could.
I understand. But again, and so we can get it out there and give it plenty of time to be posted on the website so that the citizens can look at it, query others on it.
That's fine, we can do that.
We are working under the timeline to have this available for the April.
That's part of the discussion. When you want to have the referendum is something we can talk about now or later.
And I think we're all assuming that it will be on the ballot when we have our election in April.
That's actually the next, we can morph right
That's
into that next item on the agenda. Ms. Myers and I met with the supervisor of election and his staff and representatives of all the other cities who are holding elections when we are. And Mark has a couple things he needs us to give him some guidance on. The first one being whether we want a separate election with the charter referendums or whether we want the charter referendums with the Super Tuesday election. Of course, if you have it separate, then you're going to pay the cost for another separate election.
And what's that, $10,000 or something?
And it's not, it runs about $5.
Well, are we in a rush?
You're not in a rush. Once you adopt the ordinance itself, you have a year to send it to referendum.
I think we just text today for
Yeah.
that.
Do it.
That's the kind of the consensus, so we can let him know that.
When you're gonna have the most turnout.
Yes, so you have to go turn out.
The other issue that we need to decide is whether or not we want to have early voting. And if we do want to have early voting, do we want to have a separate early voting site out here on the beach, which we would bear the full cost of, or have early voting at the supervisor of elections office combined with all the cities, and then we just pro rata share in those costs. I think, Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the consensus from all the people there was centralized, centralized early voting rather than separate early voting sites in the individual cities, but he will do whatever the pleasure of the council is.
Isn't that typically what's been done in the past? They have like a week of early voting down in supervisor legislature.
Yeah, and everyone can vote by absentee ballot as well if you choose to. Some of there's a lot of opportunity to be able to vote. It's up to whatever you want to do. He'll do whatever we want him to do. We just need to let him know what direction we want to go.
What are the cost estimates?
And, well, we'll have to have poll workers have to bring all of his equipment out. I don't imagine it would be as much as a regular election, but you're still probably talking at least several $1,000s if you wanted to, separate site out here. Turnout traditionally, I think the highest voter turnout ever in a city election is 27%.
And this election, and the last two times that election, for these two seats, Ward 1 and Ward 3, 2010, and before that was 14% of the registered.
And the registered voters are slightly under 10,000, so.
89.
So are we
It's
thinking that
9,900.
we want to ask for early voting just for our people to participate in early voting at the supervisor of elections office?
The question is twofold. Do you want early voting? And if you do, where? You can decide that you don't want early voting. And people can have the opportunity to participate by absentee before.
I think early voting is important.
Give them the option for that, yeah.
But I don't think we need to have it separately out here.
No.
I think we just join up with the horses like we've done in the past. Supervisor election.
Everybody okay with that? All right.
That's the two main things. Amy, did I miss anything?
We have covered item number 12 in our public hearing on ordinance 1277, and they do all relate. But we will close that public hearing. And we have, Mr. Russell, an update on the fishing pier, Callan.
Anticipation builds in the audience. I can tell they can't wait to see it. Well, due to cleaner water at the city pier, and as you know, longer pier and whatnot, this year, this week, we're just barely edged out by the county pier for king mackerel. But not many people eat king mackerel anyway, so it doesn't matter that much. For Spanish mackerel, well, it's about like king mackerel. The county pier took that also. But the better eating fish, flounder, the city took that. Pompano, the city took that. and the kids' fish was, doesn't say what it was, but it was 2.98 pounds, whatever it was. Might have been a grunt, who knows?
When is this fishing challenge over?
We got 2 more weeks of fishing.
Mayor, if I might add one thing, on the day of the Pirates Parade, a 52-pound sailfish was caught on the city pier.
Oh, did they release it? No?
Didn't we also have a blackfin tuna?
They did
caught?
catch blackfin tuna, I think, 2 weeks before.
Well, that just proved the city pier's better. So bad.
Not for those 2 fishes.
Is that all?
That's it. That concludes the program.
All right. We are, is there anything from the audience that deals with the city council that you would like to bring forward? We are going to adjourn, and then we will reopen a special meeting to discuss Resolution 1413, which we have asked various members of the community that are interested in the greenways and trails system to be here for. We will have that hearing, and then we will turn around and have a law enforcement trust fund meeting. So you may stay or you may go. We would appreciate you staying if you want to, and we will close the city council meeting and move to the special meeting to adopt Resolution 1413. All right, we ready to read the resolution? All right, Ms. Amy.
Resolution 1413. This has no title, so I'm going to read it. Whereas the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Office of Greenways and Trails is accepting applications for the year 2013B Recreational Trails Program Grant Program, and whereas the city has created and continues to enhance a system of paved and unpaved footpaths throughout the city to be used as recreational trails for bicycling, day hiking, jogging, and similar fitness activities, which trails are commonly referred to and known as Gales Trails. And whereas the recreational use of Gales Trails in the city, which connect or will connect the city to the statewide Florida Greenways and Trail System, is an asset of the city that is and will be utilized by the public at large, including residents and visitors to the city. And whereas the city finds that the extension of the Gales Trail System proposed by the construction of the Trias Multi-Use Trail East project will extend and enhance the use of this trail system for the recreational and educational enjoyment of residents and visitors. Now therefore be it resolved that the appropriate officers of the city are authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the city that certain application and supporting documentation for the city's nomination of the city's Trias Multi-Use Trail project for the 2013B Recreational Trails Program Grant Agreement, and be it further resolved that should the city be awarded the 2013B Recreational Trail Program Grant for the Trias Multi-Use Trail, the city covenants to budget and appropriate funds adequate to fund 20% of the project cost.
And Kathy Yantz has done a tremendous amount of work in pulling this grant together, and she's had help from Joe, and we wanted to thank her for working hard on it. She also told me she didn't want to talk, she didn't have to. So, what's going on? We have an easement to go through Trias, which is the gated community and colony club. We engineered it some time ago, but we don't have the money to build. And it's important that we build it as soon as we can because of the complications when all of the houses in there or the lots are sold. It's much easier to work with one developer who has given us the easement and the permission. It will be, and what we're doing is applying for a FERDAP, It's a Department of Greenways and Trails state grant. And in that grant, they will. We're hoping to get $75,000 or $100,000. We will have to match it with some of our impact fees, and then we're hoping that there will be some additional funding that we can find that will go with it. That would allow us to build the trail through Trieste. It's attached to the trail already there at Moonlight Bay. It'll be a 12-foot wide trail. It's got like maybe 3 boardwalks in it because of the wetlands that it'll be going through. Like I said, it's the easement is under the Gulf power line, and we're having this meeting today for the city council to approve this resolution authorizing us to apply. But we also have representatives from at least the Garden Club, the Boys and Girls Club, Friends of the Library, and the Civic Club, and the Kiwanis Club, and the Rotary Club, and the VFW Post 1055. And we will list all of those organizations in the grant as saying that they came to our meeting and listened to what we were going to do, and if they would like to have input, they can certainly do that. Are there questions?
Is this the same thing? So, are all the red lines going to be trails?
I think she just threw it all. It's going to be that wide.
Okay, so what's this right here?
I believe this is all the property that's owned by Bay West Developers LLC and assigned this parcel ID number. The trail is going to run through the power line that runs through the central portion of this map.
Between the 2 red lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is.
I mean, I was just a little confused with the red line, this one down
This
here.
is just a common lot property.
And it's important to us because we have 9 miles of paved trail outside of the park. And they actually start at the conservation park, come over to 79, cross 79, and go to Moonlight Bay in Colony Club. And this entrance will be directly across the street. We'll cross Moonlight Bay. There are 3 pieces of property to the east of that before we get to the school. We have an agreement with Bay District Schools that they will help us go through Arnold's property, and then we will connect to Breakfast Point subdivision, which has a trail that will run all the way down to Wildwood next to the Hathaway Bridge. And there's maybe 3 parcels between where this trail, when we pave this, ends and where we'll pick up close to the county school. And those parcels, the owners have been noticed legally several years ago that we would be putting a trail on the old power line easement. So they are on notice if property sale. But we need to connect. What we're trying to do is connect as much as possible as we go along.
How much of a grant are we asking?
75,000. And it'll be a good thing if we ever get it through.
I think it's a marvelous idea.
Are there any questions, comments? Well, Kathy will be submitting it on Halloween.
Yes.
On Halloween, and we really appreciate you guys coming, and because that is one of the requirements of the grant to show that the community knows about it. Yes, ma'am.
Could we have a copy of the map, please?
Sure.
Oh, look, everyone's doing
Yeah.
that. Except for me. Keep in mind.
This too. Those.
This is site.
Yes.
So Jane can have a copy too.
Wouldn't want to go back without Jane having one.
That's right. If there is this all we need, Kathy?
That's it.
If there's nothing else, we will adjourn this meeting.
Well, we need a motion to approve the.
Oh, we got to approve this resolution.
I make a motion.
Motion to approve. Councilwoman Strange, second by Councilman Curry. Any other comments?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Reeker?
Yes.
Mayor Oberst?
Yes. We will close this meeting and we will open the law enforcement grant meeting. Thank you. This is a special meeting. We will discuss Resolution 1413. Oh, that's the wrong one.
1401.
1401, the purchase of a security tower in the amount of $52,000.
LETF Resolution 1401, a resolution of the City Council for the City of Panama City Beach, sitting as the Law Enforcement Trust Board, authorizing expenditures from the Law Enforcement Trust Fund for the purchase of a 21-foot security tower in the amount of $52,500.
Chief, do you want to tell us about it, or do you want the city manager?
Madam Mayor, Council. I came across this last year at one of the conferences I went to, and then last year I had Rich get a hold of the two companies that build these. We brought them up here for spring break. They work great. They cut down on the crime down by Walmart. We put one there in the parking lot where we were having problems where there'd be 500 to 600 people there. It cleared it out, and we also put one down by the clubs that helped it clear it out. It gets you elevated where you get a bird's eye view of what you can see what's going on with the crowds. And the criminal element, they don't want to be seen, so they left. I'm not only going to use it for spring break. The holidays are right around the corner. A lot of shoppers at all of our different malls, Walmart, Target, Pier Park. We got another park coming on the north side of Pier Park, which I think is a great asset. We can put it up in the sky. We can watch the parking lots to make people feel safe and to keep down the burglaries, because everybody likes breaking in vehicles during the holidays because they think there's things in the cars or the purse snatching. So I think it's a good thing for the community. We're up there. It helps law enforcement. It makes people feel safer. I can also use them. It's a year-round tool I can use constantly, because all the special events like the Gulf Coast Jam, I could have had it out there to check the crowds in the parking lots. Almost every weekend we have it, something we could use. And if the Thursday night concerts get big enough, I could actually set it in the parking lot back there by the theater with their permission and oversee that whole field. Just for a safety feature, to make sure their vehicles are safe and make sure there's nothing going on in the crowd, because it's easier to see into the crowd 21 foot up instead of sending an officer in there. You can only see about a 4 foot radius. I just think it's a good ass. It's a good tool, and it's coming out of the Law Enforcement Trust Fund, which is forfeiture money from drug cases or seized vehicles, and it really doesn't affect the general or the city's general budget, the general fund. So, any questions on that?
So it's going to bring the balance down like to $2,000 in the trust fund?
Yes, I just had another allotment come in for $3,722.40. That'll go in the account. It just constantly builds. Usually after auctions, after we sell the vehicles that we seize or the computers, it builds it up. But under state statute, I have to spend so much every year. We can get fined for that and be in trouble. So I think.
How long did it take to get the $50,000 built up in there?
I'd say that took us about 2 years, Holly, 2.5.
Yeah, we had a couple. You guys had a couple large seizures in the last several years that built it up. But it just depends on what kind of activity they have, what they're seizing, and what gets forfeited by the court.
This last amount was almost $4,000. That was a drug case we did with DEA. We got a percentage of that, so that helps.
They seized new Mercedes.
You have to catch me first.
Question.
Yes, sir.
If this is going to be, as it has been at the Walmart parking lot on the beach by some of the nightclubs down there, is there
A bathroom?
is there anything, Counselor? I guess I should ask you this question and the Chief. Is there any merit in maybe asking some of these folks to share in the joy at the cost of this?
I can answer that if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I discussed that with the city manager. I think once I get this one up and running, I'm going to go out and ask the other community leaders for donations to buy a second one in the future. But I'm worried right now if I get their input right off the bat, we might get to the point where, well, I put so much in it. So if this works the way I want, I'll address it with the community leaders later and try to get donations for a second one and try to match your money with law enforcement trust fund money again.
Good idea. Thank you.
And that is a good idea. We just need to move very carefully because
You don't want to appear to be giving preference.
Yes.
right, the attorneys have said, the public is entitled to public safety, and but hopefully we can work out.
It is impressive, though.
It is. It's a good tool. It worked well.
And so does this one have a bathroom
No, no, it does not. No. But you can come back down and it is air conditioned. It is air conditioned.
Nice breeze.
That'll come in handy in July.
And I have talked to other agencies that have them down south. Sawgrass Mills, they have a police department inside of their large mall down there. And just to help with manpower, sometimes they have the security go up on it, and they don't know if it's a cop or not, but it's still eyes over the crowd, so it helps. So we can also do that with some of these businesses around here. And I have an Auxiliary Reserve Force that we used last year, and it works great.
Imagine just putting it up.
Yeah, it's
You
a
leave it
deterrent.
empty,
And you can run a
yeah.
camera system through it, and it can go through an IP address, so you don't even have to be up there in it. And the windows are tinted up; no one can tell if you're in there or not. It's more of a deterrent.
The windows are not of their cell phone or computer.
Yes.
Anything for Nadia? I don't have that resolution, so I don't remember what its number was.
1401.
1401 is available for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Russell.
Second.
Second from Councilman Rickard. Anything else? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Russell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Strange?
Yes.
Councilman Curry?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Rickard?
Yes.
Mayor Oberst?
Yes.
What?
Was that a yes or a no, or did that mean yes or no? I was looking to see, it's unusual that we don't have any announcements today. Cops and Kids was last weekend. It's always a good thing. The fire open house is coming up. When is that, John?
November 9th.
November 9th. And if you haven't been to see that, you need to go over there. It's just great to see all those little kids. You know, they love firemen and fire trucks anyway, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing when our police and firemen, you know, make the public and feel good about them, and make the children understand that they're friends. So. Oh, the Arnold High School
On Friday?
homecoming parade is the 1st of November, Friday. And then, yes, the Iron Man.
No, on the second. And
Yes,
then-
Chief.
Don't get those
Cancer walk
confused,
is
Mark.
Saturday. I'm sorry. The cancer walk breast awareness, we have a team in that this weekend also. And I think the chief, you gonna run it again this year? Yeah. So that's coming up this Saturday, breast awareness.
Okay?
And there's also Debbie, correct me, if it's the Grits and Guns thing coming up on the,
I think I've got one. I think I talked to y'all last week about the thing for the Boys and Girls Club. We're combining two different things, Ritz Gallop and the outdoor rendezvous. We always have an outdoor rendezvous, which is wild game. Gator, he wants to get quail and venison. And then barbecue, Sunday barbecue.
for those, yeah.
For those that will eat. So, also, Gil, you might can tell me, in the past, the city used to have, and I don't know, maybe they still do the Christmas light things? Do they still do the Christmas lighting and give out prizes for?
No, county does.
Okay, then guess what? I'll give y'all this. Boys and Girls Club's going to do one of those, and I'll give it to Mario. It's called Deck the Halls Christmas Lighting. It's going to be a little different. You can apply. If you say Gail's house is always lit up, which it's always. You've always got decorations and stuff. So I would say I'm going to enter you into that. I'm going to pay $20 and I'm going to enter you into that. But how you win is how many dollars that you get. For every dollar that you get for your house is a vote. So it's not going to be like, I like you and I'm going to pick your house. It's ever how many votes you get by dollars that'll win or not. And it's in town and out here. So even if you have a Griswold house, we could, you could do that. If it's a house that just always looks not so great, you can still enter it and it could get the Griswold award. But every dollar that you raise is a vote. So If you really want somebody to win, you just put in your bucks and win.
Where do you send the money?
Boys and Girls Club. And there's application. I gave them an application. You can put it out, and if there's any questions, they have it on that. And if y'all want to come to the Grits and Guns, Latitude 29 will be the band that's playing, and we'll have vendors there. We have, when we have our outdoor rendezvous, we have vendors that we auction off guns, fishing reels, and they have to go and get approved, Drew. We don't give the guns out there, but so we have the guns things, and we'll have jewelry and stuff for the women and vendors that'll sell all that stuff, and you can come out and eat gator and barbecue. So y'all come.
Is there anything else? We are adjourned.
Only reason that was